All right. All right, we're live. All right, well, thank you guys for joining us. This is Huvvi 186, and this is the Traditionalist 101. This is the Overrated Podcast, Episode 2. So, go ahead, Traditionalist, and introduce yourself.
Of course, it's me again. Uh, I am definitely looking forward for part two. But I wanted to say the first one that we did, I really had a good time doing it, even though we we were just rumbling along for what 2 hours, 2 hours it
Mm-hmm.
was.
Yeah.
But I actually enjoyed it. But let's try to keep it, to to an hour because I didn't know that your leg was falling asleep on you.
Yeah, it was like that for like a day, like a day and a half. So let me, yeah. So
A
I'm gonna
day and
share
a
this
half.
out on Twitter. Yeah, like a day and a half. Yeah.
No, shoot. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's funny. That's funny. You need to get one of those what are those gamer seats. I don't know what they're called, but a lot of PC gamers use those chairs for gaming. You probably need to get one of those.
Yeah, I know. Once I get more space, then I think I might do that.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So,
good deal. I think that'll be a really good investment for you.
mhm.
For me
All
too.
right,
I
so
think I need to get one also.
oh, okay. All right, so while I share this out, talk about how what's going on with you? You did you catch anything?
Well, yeah, I basically caught COVID-19, this stupid virus.
Mhm.
Yeah, it finally caught up to me, but it was my own fault because I was a man who she caught the virus.
Mhm.
And what happened was I went over to her house to give her some remedies, whether if it was tea and some ginger shots, all the other stuff. It's good for it's good for your immune system. So I
Mhm.
went over there, and I went over there again a few days later, and when I got home, I noticed that I started to cough a little bit. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, no big deal. But then I started to cough a lot, like a whole lot. This was on a Sunday, so I started coughing. Monday was when I really started to feel it. I started to feel like my skin was all sensitive. My body felt like it was in a freaking ice cube, like I was inside a refrigerator because my body felt
Mhm.
really really cold. I said, man, I think I freaking got this virus. I was hoping that it was just a regular flu. So I went to urgent care, and when I went to urgent care, they said that I was positive, and I'm like,
Mhm.
great, just great. I tried to do something nice for somebody, and then I ended up catching the virus myself. So
Mhm.
it is what it is. I mean, I feel a whole lot better now. I'm still
Mhm.
coughing a little bit. My fever was like
Mhm.
103, 102, 103. But now it went down to 97.7. So overall, like I feel so much better. But if you hear me coughing, I'm still trying to get over. I'm not 100% yet, so I might be
Okay.
coughing, here or there. So
All right.
pardon me.
All right. Well, thankfully everything's okay. On the side note, I got my second vaccine last Thursday, and I haven't
Oh
died yet,
brother,
so I'm good. I haven't died yet, so I'm good.
I'm
Dude, let
not.
me tell you
I'm not getting it.
that. Hey, that's fine. You didn't die yet, so you're good. Um, but the first both times my shoulder was sore, absolutely sore.
So
More
something
so
did
the
happen
first
to
time.
you.
Hmm?
So something did happen.
Oh yeah. My shoulder was sore. But the funny thing is, the first time it hurt like a bitch. I ain't gonna lie to you, it hurt bad. But then the second time it hurt not as bad. It just took a little longer to recover. But now I'm recovered. I'm doing the bushwhacker walk. I'm good. So all right. Before we start off with the topic, right? I wanted to do a couple of very short story. Let me do the screen share. All right, and into the Chrome. Let's do that. Okay, so right now you should see the first article. Right, you see it, Steve?
I just
Okay,
see a blank page right now.
okay, okay. You see it now. You see it now. You see it. Right now I'm on Eurogamer. You see it, right? Steve, you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear. I can hear. I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
I can hear. All
Maybe I
right.
need to get
So
closer to.
okay.
Go ahead.
All right. All right. So obviously the first screen you see on here, me and Steve are huge fighting game fans, right? And the game, I think, I would probably guess the game that we've played each other the most against is Street Fighter Two. Would you agree with that? In all of its versions.
Of all the versions, let me think.
Yeah, like we're talking, we're
Hold on, hold on,
talking, we're
hold on.
talking Street Fighter Two, Championship Edition, Super Street Fighter Two, Street Fighter Two Turbo, New Challengers, and Super Street Fighter Two Turbo.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think you're right. I was going to say maybe it was Alpha, but I think you're right. I think it's Street Fighter 2. Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
in
the reason, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, yeah, I think your internet's acting a little weird today.
How'd you figure?
Because you're not. I can hear you. Everything's fine, but like now everything's fine, but it's been acting kind of weird.
Oh, like it's a lag or delay.
Not like when it comes to the voice, yeah. But I think we're good right now. So all right, so let's continue, right?
That's
So
weird
Street,
because I connected my Ethernet cable directly to the laptop, so it should be like really good.
hmm,
The connection should be really really good. But like, let me know if something happens. Just let me know.
okay, all right, all
Yeah.
right, all right. I got you, I got you. All right, so Street Fighter Two is an important game for both of us, right? And the man behind the iconic, the most iconic covers for Street Fighter Two, the man behind it is Mick Magenti, which I'm not, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And he's done other artwork too from Zoo Tycoon, but obviously for us the most significant one is the Street Fighter Two cover, right?
Mhm.
And let me scroll down real quick and let me see if I can find, you know, this one is, I think this one was for yeah, I think he also did this one. Like he also did one for Streets of Rage. I think that's his artwork. They wouldn't show if it was. But he did the most iconic one, which was the Street Fighter 2 artwork. Let me show people that right now.
All right, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Let me see it. I'm just waiting for it. Yeah, I think it's acting slow. I don't. It could be on my end that everything's slow. Go forward. Because I'm not connected to the Ethernet port. But okay, there we go. Now I think we're good now. Let me
Yeah.
pop this picture up. Oh, FY, let me say this. Huge shout out to the homie Raggedy Joe. He made me some fire shoes. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen it. Man's a beast. Let's go. So shout out to Raggedy Joe and also KidVid711. Um, you know what? I'm not gonna curse at you because I know you're joking, but
Who you talking about?
I'm talking about I'm talking about Yoshi. Yoshi. All
Oh,
right, you want to
Yoshi's
call it?
here.
Yeah, he finally decided to use his YouTube channel
Oh
for
snap.
something.
Oh,
So yeah, congratulations on that. And FYI, if you used to, you're ducking me in Virtual Fighter. So you know, whenever whatever you're doing, you do all this shit talking. But yeah, I haven't seen you in Virtual Fighter, and it's not. We're going to ignore the fact that he destroyed me every time we played. But when you're ready, we can go at it.
trust me.
We can
That
go.
that that trust me. That dude. he will try to look for every excuse in the book every time you beat him in the game.
Hey man, I've been using Akira. I've been
Like,
using the.
dude, he always try to say that he will destroy me and Street Fighter. Like BS,
No,
BS.
hey, that dude's good. You're.
I'm not saying that he's not, but I've destroyed that dude plenty of times, and all he wants
Okay.
to say is no, 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 that he's the only one that's been doing the winning. Like what? Like no, absolutely not.
No, you see, he said that he's on right now, but I'm doing the podcast right now. Well, I can't play you, and I can physically do it, but when I play Retro Fighter, I have to be 100% into it. I can't be 50% podcast, 50% gaming. So, like I said, you're gonna have to wait, but I'm still calling you out. I'm just letting you know, calling you out, just letting you know. Right,
I,
right,
I,
right.
I
Go
can't
ahead.
believe Joe is actually on here too.
I'm
Yeah,
not surprised too. I didn't know he had a YouTube channel.
I didn't know either. I didn't know either. That
But
dude,
I'm.
that dude is the king of using foul language.
Mm. And trust me, like he trust me, I think he's gonna have something to say. If he's still there afterwards, like he's gonna have something to say about this other topic. But I'm going to this picture, the iconic picture for Street Fighter 2, right? You see it?
Yeah, that's the iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that, Joe. Like I don't want to hear that. He said that he says real G's can do both. I, I I have a podcast to do, Joe. All right, let's continue on. So
Yeah.
yeah. So you have any thoughts on obviously RRP to Mick. He like first time I saw this art cover, like I wanted to play the game. So go ahead. You have any
Yeah.
thoughts?
What's funny was I actually hated that art cover when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I actually hated it because seeing Ryu on the ground like that, because it always seems to me that every single time when there was a new art cover that came out, it always seems the bad guys are always the one that was winning. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember the other art cover where it was Guile and Bison.
Oh yeah. Hold on, I'll pop it up right now. Hold on.
Oh, okay. So you remember that one?
Yeah. I can find it.
Okay, okay, yeah. So I hated that art cover too because I loved Ryu and I love Guile, and I just kept saying to myself, man, like why all the hate on all the good guys? Like like what's going on here? Oh, I think I see it. Um,
Oh, you did? Oh yeah. Okay. I see it. I think he also did the cover for Kid Chameleon, which is a truly underrated classic.
I never hear you talk about it.
No, I like it's one like I didn't own a Sega Genesis, so I played it on the emulator. So you see the one on the cover, you see the one on the right, on your
Yeah,
right, right?
yeah. So all the covers, they were fantastic and they're all iconic, like you said.
Hmm.
But I guess when I was a kid, I was always like, man, why are all the good guys getting beat up on all these covers? You know what I'm saying? And obviously, with the cover with Ryu, Chun Li, and Blanca in it, obviously Ryu's on the ground, Chun Li's about to get hit. So it's like,
I mean, Blanca's a badass. I mean, Blanca's a badass. So what do you what do you expect?
it's because of the cover why I thought Blanca was actually one of the bad dudes.
Mm.
I remember I was a kid, I didn't know, the full story, on Street Fighter, at least at the
Okay.
time.
Okay.
But
Okay. Okay.
I think the artwork, like you said, is very iconic, and it,
Yeah.
it always leaves a special place in my heart. And it's very unfortunate that that he passed because we grew up with this thing. What since we were like 6, 7? I don't know how early you played the game, but I played it
Mm, yeah.
when I was like a really really small kid.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really unfortunate that that he passed.
Yeah. But he leaves a legacy. Apparently he died peacefully in his home, at least according to what the article said. So R.I.P. to Mick Magenti. So all right, then next article. Let me see if it'll pop up. Let me. Do you see this? Do you see the article?
What are you trying to what are you trying to put up? What are you trying to display?
Um, the Owen Hart article.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
You don't
I
see
still
it?
see the no. I still see the Street Fighter
Okay. All
article.
right. I'll let me fix that. All right. Then we'll pop that shit back up. Tab and then and we want to talk about this because like I said we were wrestling fans. And there you go. You see it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my man.
Yeah. One of the great professional wrestlers of our time. The younger brother, and I think he's the youngest of the Hart family. The younger brother of one of my favorite and your favorite wrestlers of all time, Bret the Hitman Hart. Owen
Yeah,
Hart. For those of you who don't know, he passed away during a WW F
pay per view.
yeah, pay-per-view. I forgot what it was called. I think it was Over the
Yeah,
Edge or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, like he was doing a stunt where he was portraying the Blue Blazer. And normally he would come down from the rafters, and he the thing with the Blue Blazer was that he was kind of like a comedy character, and unfortunately the cord that he was on snapped. He pretty much fell to his death. Um, and what happened to after that, WWE and Martha Hart, her widow, his widow, they've been at odds ever since, right? Like if you've seen, there is a Owen Hart Dark Side of the Ring documentary that I haven't seen it yet because it's a sad story to listen to, but I've heard people review it, and they've been at odds with each other ever since. And obviously you can't blame you like I can't blame her for being at odds with WWE because at the end of the day, WWF at the time, now WWE, I mean, they effectively killed Owen Hart. It sounds bad, but it is what it is, right?
Didn't Bret Hart
And
sue them too?
um, I don't remember, but like I know, like you remember, this was coming off of obviously Bret Hart was working in WCW at the time. His exit was obviously messy with WWE, and this whole saga with Owen Hart and the WWE and Bret Hart, like it was going on for years. It got to the point where Martha and Bret were at odds with each other because Bret wanted Owen to be honored in the Hall of Fame and be in video games and stuff like that, and Martha wanted no part of it.
Hmm.
So those two were at it. I don't know if they're on better terms now, but imagine how that is. You know what I mean? Like imagine how awful that is that you have this tragedy with Owen, and then you got the families fighting and bickering with each other. It's a sad story. You know what I mean? But as you see here, earlier today, Owen Hart, AEW and the Owen Hart Foundation, which is run by Martha, they came to an agreement where I guess you could say that Owen Hart is now an honorary member of AEW,
Mm-hmm.
where the proceeds to I guess to any charities will go to the Owen Hart Foundation. They'll have merchandise with Owen Hart's likeness on it. More than likely, he will be in the new upcoming AEW video game, and they're also creating a wrestling tournament in his honor as well. So it's good news. Like as someone who's a big fan of Owen and a big fan of the Hart family in general, this is great news. So go ahead, Steve. You can put your input on this.
No, I think that's fantastic. But here's the thing.
Hmm.
All this that she agrees with I guess with AEW, but WWE, from what I gathered, was trying to basically do the exact same thing. So she's just doing it only because it's WWE.
Um,
Why she doesn't want to do it with WWE? Because he died within the company basically.
it is not only that, but it's also the fact that if you watch the documentary and you hear her side of the story, they did everything in their power to, I wouldn't say like I guess you could say that they tried to brush, not, I wouldn't say necessarily brush his death under the rug, but they wanted to eventually get her on board with honoring, I guess, with honoring Owen, while at the same time trying to absolve themselves of blame for his death, if you get what I'm saying.
Ah, okay, okay,
And obviously if you're her, that's not, you shouldn't be okay with that. You
true.
definitely, I understand wanting to honor his memory. I get it. And WWE can do a very good job of that. You know what I mean? Like, they put him in video games, they'll put him in the Hall of Fame, all the other stuff. But when it comes to honoring Owen, I guess she wanted more than that. Because at the end of the day, this company is the reason why he's dead.
Yeah.
So
Oh
like
man.
it's yeah. So some people would look at it like, oh well, AEW is trying to stick it to WWE. I mean, probably, but at the end of the day, like what at the end of the day, Martha Hart has the right to do what she's doing
Agreed.
as the widow. So I don't know, for you WWE fans, suck it up, right? So, anyways, now
Yeah.
let's get back.
And
Yeah, go
one,
ahead.
I don't want to. I don't want to. I think I'm wrong about this, but you might be able to correct me. Isn't alive out of all the brothers?
Wait, what happened?
Bret Hart's the only one. Bret Hart's the only one that's left, isn't he?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I,
Because
I mean, I don't, like, they have a big family, so I don't know
well,
exactly who's alive or dead.
I'm talking about like. Well, I'm talking about like out of all the ones that were wrestlers, participants. Because
Hmm.
British Bulldog, he passed.
Yeah,
Jim Neidhart, he passed.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. If you
uh,
there's a picture. There's a classic picture of the Hart Foundation in the ring at that time, and Brett's the only one there that's alive.
yeah. That's jeez, man.
Yeah, and he's
Golly.
and he's had and he's had his health struggles, and
Yeah,
he's had his health struggles. So, but as far as like their immediate family, I do think their siblings are still. I do think the rest of his siblings are still alive. But I'm not 100% sure about that.
yeah. There was I forgot there was this other dude. He had long hair. I forgot his name. He wasn't with him for very long. I can't
Oh,
remember
Brian
what his
Pillman.
name. Okay. I think that's him.
Yeah,
I
he
think that's
wasn't
him.
a family. He wasn't a family member, but like, obviously they were close, and yeah, he passed away too. Ironically enough,
Yes.
his son is wrestling in AEW right now, also.
Oh wow. Ain't that
Brian
special?
Pillman, Brian Pillman Jr. Yeah, so yeah, so to me this is good news, and it's great to honor. We finally get to honor one of wrestling's greatest athletes, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
All right. All right. So now we're done with all that. Let's get to the meat of the show. All right.
Yeah, sure.
Now, I don't have a screenshot of this. I'm just gonna just talk about this game. Now,
I mean, you
I
can,
bought.
so the audience could
Hold on a second.
see.
Actually, hold on a second. Let me where's the game at? Give me 1 second. I still have it here somewhere. Where is it?
The physical copy.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me turn my camera on. All right. All right. See this game right here?
Yeah, I have the game.
You have it too, right?
Yeah,
What
but
console?
for the 360.
Okay, so you have it on on previous hardware. You had two consoles to go.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and I bought this one console ago.
Yes.
Yeah, and then now they come to find out that Rockstar is releasing this game on their third console generation. Right? PS5, Xbox Series, um, X and S, and I mean, listen, I get it. The game is popular. The online is doing gangbuster numbers. I get it, but my God, the only other thing that they've done in the 8 years since this game originally launched on PS3 and 360 has been Red Dead Redemption 2, and I don't play Red Dead Redemption.
Why?
I'm not into westerns. I'm just not, and I God, like I remember a time when they would make, like they would make Bully, right? Which a game that I wasn't into. They would make Midnight Club,
Yeah.
a game I was very much into. Played all three games. The three games. Like I don't think I played LA, but Midnight Club 3 Double Edition, one of the greatest racing games of all time, and I would argue is the greatest street racing game ever made.
More than Need for Speed.
Yeah, oh, much better than Need for Speed Underground. And Need for Speed Underground is a good. It's a good game.
Yeah, I
One
thought
of
so
the
too.
best street one of the best street racing games of all time. But like Midnight Club to me, Double Edition is the best street racing game of all time. Right,
Hmm.
the best.
Okay.
But like they made that right, like, and it's like, and then you look at the older, because a lot of people are gonna say, oh well, back in the PS2 days they made GTA 3. They made what? Actually, let's go back to the PS1.
All right.
They made the original GTA. Now, granted, this
Yeah.
is top down, right? Original GTA, GTA 2, and I think
Mm-hmm.
GTA London. Three GTA games, right? Now, mind you, top down. Okay. Then on the PS2, they made GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas,
Yeah.
right? Three games, right? And I don't expect them to make three GTA games and in a span, I think, what, 4 years, like they did back then. I don't expect that.
Hold on. I think you're missing one. I think you're missing the Chinatown one that also came
No,
out.
that's later. That's later. That's later. That's later.
Oh, okay.
I'll get to those. I'll get to those.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
Like I don't expect them to make three GTA games in 4 years. It's too is like I get it. I know you can just see with GTA 5, right? And the thing that annoys me the most about this news is that there's going to be a lot of people who resent GTA 5 because of this. But when you play the game, right? Even if you're not a big fan of the game, the level of detail, the amount of content that they crammed into that game, to me is exceptional. I know that shit takes time. I know it takes time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But then circling back over to the PS2 GTA games, with GTA 3, we got Liberty City Stories sometime later on the PSP, which was a continuation of GTA 3. Now, actually no, it was a prequel, but it was still a continuation of that world in Liberty City, right?
Right.
Same
Right.
thing. Same thing goes with Vice City. With Vice City Stories, it was a prequel, but it was still a continuation of the world in in Vice City. And then you look at GTA 5. Is a continuation of that world in GTA 3. Not 3, San Andreas.
Wait. GTA 5 was a continuation of San Andreas?
Not a continuation, but it's part of a continuation of that world.
Oh, okay.
Of that world, right? And and then obviously you have Chinatown Wars, which was a good GTA game, right? But like when it comes to releasing GTA 5 on your third generation, right? And they have all this online content, and I play some of it. It's good stuff, good content. But like we don't. But that's it. That's it when it comes to single player. Like we get the story, which is a lot, which is a lot. It's the story's great, but that's all you're gonna give us. And
What else did you actually wanted? Like if they're
single
giving you
single
extra
player
content,
DLC to just like cause this game's coming out full price. Like this is not gonna be cheap. This is coming out full price.
$70.
Hmm?
70. How much are we gonna have to pay for this?
I mean, I don't think I've seen the price yet, but this is full price. This is gonna be $70, 60 or 70.
Wow. That's a huge price margin right there. That's a huge. That's not cheap.
No, it's not cheap. And I mean, and I'm sorry, I saw the trailer. I mean, it don't look that much better than PS4. It really doesn't. Like it'll probably load quicker, but that's it. That's it. It don't look that much better, and it's not going to match PC graphics. It's not. Like not even close. And I, man, I'm disappointed because like, and I'm not surprised by it because like I said, like this is what the gaming industry is now, right? You invest in your cash cows, and GTA Online is their cash cow. I get it, like I get it, but like you can't give your single player gamers throw them a bone. Like you can't give them something.
Now, before you continue,
Mhm.
let me ask you this: how much did you actually invest in a single player mode? I'm talking about you personally,
I beat the game.
like in its entirely,
I mean,
like
what?
like
I
all
didn't.
the
I
side.
didn't. I didn't 100% the game. I didn't 100% the game, but I beat the story, and I did the vast majority of stuff in the game.
I mean, if I mean, it seems to me that everybody is focusing more on the online on the online anyway.
Yeah, because that's where all the content's gone. From day one, they've done everything in their power to promote the online, which I get it. Is their big like is literally like their version of Warzone, right? What Call of Duty doing with Warzone. That's what they're doing with GTA Online. You know what I mean? Like I get it. Like I get it's their cash cow, but like a lot of the stuff that you can do when it came to like they'll always have like these whenever they announce like a event or something for GTA 5 online. I'm like, man, I would like to have played this, but single player, like not needing to depend on a bunch of how do I say this nicely, dummies
Dummies.
that you have to team up with to do some of these missions. I rather do some of these missions single player. Like I'd rather do some of this single player, but like I said, their goal has been to focus on focus on the multiplayer, and I get it. But if you're going to charge, if you're going to charge us $70 for this game on your third platform, we can't get at least at the very least give the single player players a bone, throw them a bone or something.
No, they're not going to do that. Because I okay, yeah, it's time for me to. I already said this earlier, or what, yesterday or the other day, and I need to address this again. You guys, you gamers, have nobody to blame but yourselves. Nobody but to blame but yourselves. Because I have, you call me crazy. You call me crazy, or you call me stupid, or you didn't know what I was talking about. All the stuff that you were saying to me, but I knew that this
I
stuff
didn't
was
I
going
didn't
to
say I didn't
happen.
I didn't say none of that. I just
Yeah, you did.
I guess I just ignored you because you do this a lot with everything. With every when Could you're a bit of an alarmist, right? Now
Uh huh.
I never outright said that I disagree with you on some of the stuff that you were saying.
Oh,
But go
please.
ahead, go ahead, continue.
Yeah.
Let me not
Okay.
interrupt.
So pretty much what I've been trying to warn you, and warn other people about, was that when developers see or are aware that all the gamers are doing is playing online, that gives them the incentive that they could neglect all the single player games, all the campaign or whatever modes that they are, and just focus on nickel and diming us by just having us constantly pay for online. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And I know a lot of people would say, well, having multiplayer on a video game has always been a special bonus, and I get that. I get that, but you probably don't remember this argument that we had. But I said that Grand Theft Auto would have been fine if they never had online, and you call me crazy for saying that. Wait, mostly everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah, your audio is going in and out. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, jeez. I don't know. Like the Ethernet cable is hooked
Yeah,
up fine. You can hear me now?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So what I was trying to say is, you call me crazy, but I tried to warn you that the more and more we continue to focus too much on online, that it was going to hurt future single player mode content. I knew this was going to happen. Now, I didn't anticipate it for it to be this, to be this much. I didn't know it would have gone to the point to where now everybody seems to just completely ignore single player mode. Like, for example, look at the Call of Duty games, right?
Mhm.
And when you look at games like Titanfall, when Titanfall was made, there was no story mode for the original Titanfall game. And this was something that I was afraid of. Like, I had a feeling that one day game developers or publishers were going to start making games where the primary was the multiplayer, while the single player modes was basically secondary. And I started to see this trend when it comes to, like, obviously, Grand Theft Auto. You've seen it with Call of Duty. You've seen it, with Street Fighter Five when it first released.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, why is this happening? And it's only happening because of online. That's what happened. That's what happened. Online has hurt, the arcades. Arcades is obsolete because of online. And a lot of the video games, like one of my favorites, Metal Gear Solid. When they introduced online to Metal Gear, I was actually upset. I was actually upset because I said this to you before. I don't know. I can't remember if you agree with me or not. But when you start introducing online to certain video games, it starts to ruin the actual video game's identity. For example, look at Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil 5,
Mhm.
I think, is the best example that I could do, because I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. And when they started implementing online in Resident Evil 5, it looked more like a Gears of War than a Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So I said to myself, like, you see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, there are certain games that I believe that will be just well off without online. That it just doesn't need to have online. If you want to play an online zombie game, there's Left 4 Dead and all these other zombie games that that you could play. But when it comes to Resident Evil, the whole premise of the game is what, to scare you, to be in this constant edge of your seat survival horror, type of game. And when you introduce online into it, or co-op, that fear factor that you're supposed to have, within the game is gone, because now
Mm-hmm.
the online ruins the video game's identity. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing happened with Metal Gear 4, where it was basically about you, a one man army with no weapons, and you basically trying to survive. But when they implemented online into it, I'm just
Wait,
like,
wait, 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 wait. Let's hold on, because ironically enough, you did you play the game?
yes, I have the game.
Did you beat it?
Yeah.
Wait, that wasn't convincing.
You talking about Metal Gear, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Metal
beat
Gear
the
Solid
game.
4.
Yes, I beat the
Okay.
game. I beat the
You
game.
did you believe that the online portion of the game hindered the single player? Because I don't think it did.
You don't think it did? I think it did, because I honestly believe that when you have developers that will not put their main vocal point on the single player mode, it will eventually get compromised. That's what I believe. Now, look, I'm not a developer. I don't know what goes on the inside, but we already seeing the trend already. We've seen it.
All right,
We've
hold
seen
on,
it.
hold on. Before you continue, let me read this from Raggedy Joe. Gamers been complaining of lack of single player and the forcing of online on them. Problem is an easy way of getting microtransactions. Some devs won't take it out. He's right about that. Like, he's right. Like, it's essentially the cell phone model being brought to console gaming.
Okay,
And
yes, okay,
last time I checked, you're a fan of cell phone gaming. I'm not. So
okay. That's fine, but I mentioned a trend because, remember, the same thing happened with Dead Space. I don't know if you remember when I brought Dead Space over to your house,
hmm
um, and you was telling me how you enjoyed playing the game. But then when they came out with part two, they introduced online into it.
no. That was three.
Yeah, three. My bad. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
three.
that was three.
They introduced online into part three, and I'm saying to myself, you're removing what made the video game special.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? If it's
Yeah.
supposed to be a survival horror video game, introducing online or co-op basically ruins it. Now you ruin what made the actual game special. You compromise the video game's original identity. That's why I said there are certain games that's out there you should not put online in it, because now I'm no longer afraid anymore, which is the whole point of playing Resident Evil or Dead Space. And Metal Gear, I'm no longer having the edge of being in survival mode, because there's online. I just don't enjoy video games
Yeah, but
when they implement online into them.
wait. Going back to the Metal Gear thing, right? Like, the online had nothing to do with the single player. Like, it had
Right.
nothing to do with it.
Yeah, but I didn't want online on Metal Gear at all.
That's fine. I get it. But we're talking about Metal Gear Solid 4, right?
Yeah, you never played it?
Yeah, I beat the game.
Four. We talking about four.
Yeah, 4. Yeah, for the PS3.
You beat the game?
Yeah,
Nah, I don't believe that, because
it's the only Metal Gear game that I beat.
I don't ever remember you actually having the game.
Well, I didn't have the game. It was at my cousin's house, and I played it. I played it there, and I beat the game there.
Okay. I'm surprised.
Yeah. So
I'm actually
like,
surprised.
yeah, like I to me it didn't hinder that game. Like there's a Metal Gear Solid online. I think it was Survive game that came out that was completely hideous. That was awful. And yeah, that I can understand. I can understand
Okay, so,
that.
which means it was a waste of space.
No,
It was a waste of space.
the game in general is bad. The game in general is bad because
No, it's
it was
not.
no.
The
I'm
game,
talking about GT. I'm not talking. Okay, look. Let me show you the game. Let me show you the game. Let me see if I can let me pop up a tab.
Jabana says online didn't hinder Metal Gear Solid. No. I think everyone is confusing of what I'm saying. There are certain games that are out right now that does not need online. Like the game will be completely fine. The game will do fine without online play, without online mode. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It
All right,
doesn't need
I
it.
got it. Hold on.
It doesn't need it to be great.
Oh, okay.
And the online wasn't even that good anyway.
Are you talking about the four, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that one. It was no, it could have been better, but the problem is that it was on a console that didn't do online very well. So like, let's be real. All right, this is the game I'm talking about. Metal Gear Survive. You see it right here?
That's the one that you beat.
No. That's the game that I'm talking about. That was online. That was online. I don't know if I don't. I think it was online only. But Konami made the game. Obviously, it had nothing to do with Kojima, and the game was not good. Like I've heard. I would be surprised if three people are playing this game right now online.
I don't think. Did Jabanis play this one? Jabanis, have you played this one?
We'll see. I will wait for him to respond, but like this is a online game, and this game is garbage. This game is terrible. From what I've heard from people. So like that I understand. What they did with four, it was they just added an online component to the single player, to the main single player, and the single player was the main focus of that game. In fact, though, I think if there was anybody who would have any complaints about four, was that it was too reliant on weapons. And me personally, like it's the best one because like he said he played MGS4 online, not MGS online. Um, okay. Um,
Oh,
but
okay.
like yeah, I mean, if there was any really complaints about Metal Gear Solid 4, it was just that it was too reliant on weapons, on guns and stuff like that. It turned it
I didn't
like
hear.
for some people, like it felt like they I guess they felt like it was too much of a you know over the shoulder shooter, right? And not a tactical survival game. At least that's what I heard from some people. But like ultimately, since this all ties into Grand Theft Auto 5, let me say this, right? To me, when you look at Resident Evil 5, right? Their problem was that they pretty much wanted to make their version of Gears of War, basically,
Correct.
right? But I guarantee you, if there was developers that were more skilled and cared about the integrity of Resident Evil, even if it was co-op, they would. I think they would have done a better job with that game. Same thing with
Yeah,
same
but
thing with same thing with Dead Space. Same thing with Dead Space. Even though you have two people playing the game at the same time, they could have done something that would have made that game more appealing. Um, Playing it, split screen co-op, whatever, right? And I think they did some of that where I think one player heard voices in the microphone and the other one didn't in the headphones, and the other player didn't.
uh,
Okay.
one. But even if that's the case, knowing that you still have somebody who has your back, the fearness, or you know anticipating something around the corner is no longer there anymore,
Okay, that's
because
fine. Okay,
you're no longer alone. You're no longer in that survival horror mode.
okay, I understand that. But if the developers were skilled enough, or if it was possible, they could have done it to where they could have still done horror elements in a co-op game, but done it in a way like let me give you an example, right? Let's say you two are both walking down a street or whatever, right? And one player sees a horde of enemies coming at them, and the other player doesn't see them at all. Like he sees a hordes of enemies coming at one player, but the other player don't see anything. Like you can like there's definitely stuff that developer could have done to make to still get the integrity of the game, but added something like online to make it work altogether. If you get what I'm saying.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I still don't see. I still don't see, even if something like that was implemented on future games. I don't think. I still think the original identity because you still have a partner that's still with you at the end of the day,
Mm.
and
But
and
okay,
and
all right. Well, okay. Well, let's talk about Grand Theft Auto because Grand Theft Auto 4 had online. It was pretty much bare bone,
yeah,
right? It was pretty much bare bone. You launch into a match, whether it's team deathmatch or deathmatch, or you're just driving around the city, right? It was fun. I did it. It was fun. It was fun. Like it's basically just Grand Theft Auto and taking it online, which is fun. And I've done the GTA Online stuff. Like it is fun. Like it absolutely is fun. Like you do races, you can obviously you can you can go do things, you can interact with people, all this stuff. You can do so much stuff in the game, right? And they should be
yeah,
commended for doing something cool with the online, right? The thing, I believe that if developers can do it, they should be able to do it. If they're confident enough to do it, then they should do it. My problem is more not necessarily with the developers or the idea of online. It's just that what my problem is that they're now prioritizing monetization over quality, and this has gone on all throughout the gaming industry. This definitely is happening when it comes to our sports games. Like the main reason why Madden is so bad now is for two reasons. One, they have no competition, and two, they put their main focus on Madden Ultimate Team, right? Like to the point where people were complaining so much that about the franchise mode, which was which is I would argue is the biggest single player component of Madden, the franchise mode. I know they have online franchise, but if you just want to do just basic franchise mode, right?
yeah,
By yourself, in previous games you can do all these other stuff that you can't do now, and they've completely negated the franchise mode that they had to start a petition for last year's game to put more focus into it. You know what I mean? 2K, like all their main focus for a time was my team, the park, and all this other stuff, and the quality of the game suffered. The overall
yeah, because
quality of the game suffered because they put their
yeah, because
biggest go ahead.
no, go ahead, you can finish.
That they put their main focus on the monetization of the game, of the stuff, of the items of the game that makes them money, that continuously makes them money.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
which is the online. But let me yeah, we'll stick with the Grand Theft Auto. But when are going to actually put be held accountable for for your you playing a part in it. I mean,
What? What? I
you
what?
played a part in it.
How?
Well, I thought I told you how
You
already.
keep no you keep mentioning this about you saying that I'm you know that I'm part of it and
Yeah,
and I'm like how
because what here okay, because look, we're not, we may not be developers, right? But at the very least, we could at the very least understand how incentives can be created. So if all people are focusing on playing online and online only, and everyone is neglecting, single player mode, campaign mode, and all people want to do is just play online, what do you expect the developers to do? They're not going to continue wasting their time making campaign modes if people are not going to play them. People, they're just going to focus on more online. Am I right or wrong?
I guess you're right, but the thing is that like you're and I know where you're going at with this, and this is what my stance is when it comes to Call of Duty.
Yeah, but you've been guilty of this too.
Yeah, because I
You
don't
told
I
me, you've
mhm.
told me that there's been multiple times where you never even touched the campaign mode. You as soon as you bought the game, you went straight to online. That's
Yeah,
what everybody's doing.
okay.
So you giving the developers the incentive not to focus on single player mode anymore.
I Steve, I don't care about single player mode in Call of Duty. Like I don't. If it had it or don't had it, like it wouldn't bother
That
me. Like
that proves my point.
okay, no, because the thing is that like I played the single player when it came to the original Modern Warfare games, right? Because I was invested in the story, right? Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3, right? Which is fine. I didn't care about the Black Ops stories. Didn't care. And I don't care about the Modern Warfare in this one. I just don't. It's just not my thing. And then when it came to Battlefield, like Battlefield, the story in Battlefield 4 is not good. So like why am I wasting my time playing it if it's not good? The main reason why I play first person shooters is to play online. That's it.
That's
And I
that's
if and I'm okay paying and I'm okay with paying $60 if it had no single player campaign. I'm okay with it. But they tried it. Activision and I forgot which company was making it at the time. They tried it with not putting campaign in in the game and people complained. And I think mainly they complained because they're taking away a major feature in the game which is single player and they're still charging you $60 for it. You know what I mean? Like but to me, like I'll like okay, I look at all these games like Mortal Kombat, right? Like I barely played the game online. Mortal Kombat 11. Barely played it online. Like does that mean that they shouldn't put online in the next one? No. Like they can still put it in there, but I play it mostly single player. Right? Like okay, next game. MLB The Show. I've never played an online match in MLB The Show. Never. Like does that
mm,
mean that like the main my main thing that I do is franchise mode, which is a single
okay.
player mode. But they still add the multiplayer. Like to me, you buy games based on what you want. If you want the single player and multiplayer, then that's perfectly fine. If you only want to do single player, that's fine too. You buy what you want. What my biggest issue is when it came to what GTA 5 what Rockstar's doing with GTA 5 is that they keep re-releasing this game on new platforms, but not giving um the single player people anything. They haven't given them they haven't given us nothing.
Yeah, as far as the single player mode,
Yeah,
they didn't give you guys anything.
nothing.
I think the majority of the fan base is probably happy that they're giving more online content.
Yeah, which is fine. If online's your thing, then that's fine. But for someone who plays the game primarily single player, like if you're just going to just if you keep re-releasing these games, if one make the game look a little bit better, and two Give us some content. Give us some give because they haven't given us nothing in 8 years. In 8 years. And the only other game that they've released at the time is Red Dead Redemption. And frankly, the online in that game, from what I heard, is not that good either.
Well,
It's
backtrack real
not good at
quick.
all. Yeah.
Backtrack real quick. When they made Grand Theft Auto 4, didn't they have an expansion pack after
They
that?
had two of them.
They had
They had two
two.
of them. Yeah. Gallard,
Hold up.
Ballard of Gay Tony, and the damn, what's the other one? Damn it, what's the other one? I know. The name is it's the biker gang. It's the one involving the biker gang. I just can't remember what the biker gang name is. Right?
Uh,
They had
was
two
it
of them.
wasn't it Liberty City? No, not Liberty City.
It was something in the Dawn and the Damned or some. No, Lost in the Damned. I think that might be it. Lost in the Damned. It was about the biker gang that you faced in the OG 4.
Who are you talking
It's
to?
about them. I'm talking to you.
Oh, okay, okay.
Like, so they had two of them, and honestly,
Wow.
I'm not expecting a whole bunch of single player content. Just give us one. At least give her something. Like like they could have given us something. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, like it is what it is. Like I'm not buying it. No, I'm not buying it again. So
I mean, like I think, I mean, at the end of the day, like, I know you're not going to give me credit for it, but I already predicted that this was going to happen a long time ago.
hmm
I knew this was going to happen because it seems like everyone, just continued to focus on, playing, online instead of the campaign mode. And now, single player content is now being compromised because of it.
okay, okay.
I
And
mean,
now that's fine. But I just want to remind everybody before we move on to the next topic that the one person that I got it. The one person that paid for online before any of my other friends was the man to my right. Oh, Xbox Live is so great. Like, I get to play COD and talk to people online and play Street Fighter 4 online and all the other great stuff. PlayStation Network is garbage. Like, it's free because it's garbage and all the other stuff. This is the man to my right.
yeah,
One of the
yeah,
main one of the main reasons why online gaming is the way it is because of Microsoft. And the first person to give them money to justify it is the traditionalist 101.
yeah, and then you continue on with that trend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what are we talking about here? So
No, because
you
you're
played.
blaming me for something that you've already done
Okay, but I stopped supporting the gaming industry for the past what 8 years, 18
until you
years.
bought a Switch.
Yeah. Well, I didn't buy the Switch. My brother bought the Switch. I didn't buy
Okay.
it.
All
I
right.
didn't buy it. But yeah, I didn't buy PS4. I didn't buy an Xbox One, and I didn't buy a Switch. Why? Because I didn't like what the gaming industry was going. I didn't like the microtransactions. I didn't like any of the how they're focusing too much, on online. Like everything was being compromised. I just didn't like it. I'm not supporting that. And I told you from the get-go that I wasn't going to support that. And matter of fact, I stopped playing Xbox Live like towards the end of its cycle. So it's been over 10 years since I haven't supported the industry. So you could call me out if you want, but I've been consistent with my stance.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, all right. So all
Yeah,
right.
you
So
could you could
I
you could
really
you could you could but yeah, but so at the end of the day, I'm gonna make this one last point. that
Mhm.
I do feel that online had hurt the gaming industry somewhat. Like you already agreed how it hurt the arcades. I mean, I know for a fact you agree with that.
Well,
But
yeah, but like, yeah, but that like, yeah, like they were moving away. Like at least in this country, they were moving away from that anyway. So, all
and let me say this just quick side note.
right, go ahead.
Just quick side note. Every time when it was you, me, um, like even at the time when Jabonis would partake, when we would go to your house or my house, or we go to Soul's house, and Randy comes in and and whatnot, you cannot tell me that you have a much more enjoyable time playing at each other's house than playing online.
Of course, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's not rocket
yeah,
science. Like
yeah.
playing natively is better than playing online. But the problem is that just because we have that dynamic that we live closer, that we live close to each other, not everyone has that same luxury.
Mm,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? People don't
I
have the
agree with
same
that.
luxury. So like, if online is the only way they can play, then that's fine. The problem that I have ultimately, and I'll end it with this. The problem that I have when it comes to the on not I don't look at online gaming as a problem. I'm talking about the dependence on monetization when it comes to the online stuff, right? You know, I'm talking
Right.
like Ultimate Team, microtransaction in general. Is that they put so much emphasis on that has hurt the overall quality of the games in general, or they completely ignored the people who don't want to deal with the rest of that stuff. The single player players. They
Correct.
and they haven't given them a bone. They haven't given them a bone when it comes to that. So yeah. So I'm done with that. So all right. So before I hand the reins over to you, let me just say that last week we spent an hour and 30 minutes talking about a league that you supposedly don't care about, and now you
Last
want to you want to subject me to more of you complaining about a league that you don't care about.
Yeah,
And you guys see
yeah.
the title. You guys see the title.
Yes.
I will allow you to explain your take. All right,
Yeah,
go ahead.
and then obviously you could is everybody still with us, like, or are they gone?
I don't know. There's no one watching right now, but like I said, we can. I will definitely be sharing this out. So
Oh, nobody's
uh,
watching. Oh, okay, so I
well,
guess they left.
it's fine. Not a big deal. Go ahead. Keep going.
All right, so as you see the title, I mean, you put that title up there. WNBA is not sexy enough, but you know what, like, that's fine because it's actually the truth. Now, we did talk about the WNBA and about how they put Candace Parker on the front cover, which I believe it was a waste of time. And I think they were pandering, they were patronizing them. That's what basically what was happening. And look, everybody knows the whole story. When it comes to the WNBA, how they're saying, "Oh, we don't get paid enough." There was this screenshot that I saw of I forgot what her name was. I think I think her last name was Bird. I think, and she basically had the same amount of championships as LeBron. She basically had, I think almost the same amount of MVPs as LeBron, but obviously LeBron had a much his the money that he was receiving was what, like 10 times more than what Bird was receiving,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and oh, so you know what I'm talking about? Okay,
Yeah. They do these comparisons all the time.
yeah. Now, what you need to understand, Havanel, and we had this debate multiple times before, but I really want to make this point that the WNBA is obviously an inferior product and is an irrelevant product. Nobody cares about watching them. Nobody likes
To the
to,
point where you've talked about them twice on two shows. But go ahead,
yeah.
continue, continue.
Yeah, thanks for interrupting.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. But one of the reasons why I believe that people don't watch the WNBA is because of sex appeal. Sex appeal. And you have to understand this, Habanel. I said this multiple times to you that presentation matters. It matters. And if you are not able to entertain us in the court, because you're nowhere as athletic as the men are. But at the very least, if you could at least look more feminine, as I would like to say, I think they will have more people watch. More people would actually watch the sport if you would actually look good, if you actually were attractive. And even a guy like Gilbert Arenas has said the exact same thing.
I would
Well, he
never
basically,
take any type of opinion from Gilbert Arenas, but go ahead.
well, I mean, hey, the guy has money. At least I think he still does.
Of course, he has money because he
So
played.
yeah. Now he even said, you know, the WNBA players, they're just not attractive. So that's why he doesn't like to watch, and that's why a lot of people, don't like to watch. The culture that the WNBA brings in is not something that people want to see. Most of them are lesbians, and the culture that they bring in is not presentable to watch. It's just not. And you could say that I'm being a sexist if you want, but throughout all aspects of life, right? When it comes to presentation at the workplace, when it comes to advertisement, presentation matters. When it comes to the food that you eat, the presentation of the food that you eat, it matters. Something, in order for something to flourish, it has to look good in order for it to sell, in order for for more eyeballs to be engaged. Presentation matters. And if the presentation is not there, people just won't be interested in your stuff. Before I continue on, is there anything that you want to stop me on, or do you want
No,
me to
you good.
continue?
Finish what you're saying, and then I'm going to promptly destroy you, and then we can move on with my day. So go ahead, continue.
Yeah. So let's just use one example then. Look at all the advertisements. You saw this. Every time when someone is advertising, let's say, let me see, let me think of there's something random. Like alcohol. Perfect example. What do you usually see on the TV screen? Some hot chick
Uh,
who looks good, and it makes the product more appealing because of the female that you see in display, right? And
I've never bought beer based on the type of woman that's in the commercials.
it
But go
doesn't
ahead.
matter. It doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter. They always do this when it comes to advertisement, when it comes to displaying something on TV, right? They always have either a good looking chick or a good looking guy who has his six pack or whatever. Because even for us as men, when we see a guy who's tall, who's built, we look at him as, wow, this dude works out. We have more respect for that man. It comes automatic. Not that we're gay, what I'm saying? Not that we find the guy attractive, but we have more respect for the men who works out and who are
I
in
don't.
really tip top shape.
I don't.
You're lying.
No, I don't.
um yeah,
Like
you're lying.
wait.
You're
So
lying.
wait, let me stop you on this. Right.
No, 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 you're lying,
No, no,
because
no, no.
you're lying. No, you are lying, because look, when you see a guy who is tall, who is muscular, you will notice him.
No,
You will
yeah,
notice that he
yeah,
is there.
yeah.
And
That means I respect him. You
here's
don't
a
know the guy.
let me tell you a quick experiment that people did, right? When you're at a bar, let's just say that you're at a bar. I don't want to go too off, but let me just make this real quick. When you're at a bar, They basically show that when a sexy woman walks in at a bar, majority of the men that's in that vicinity is aware of her presence. Now, they don't do the exact same thing, for a guy, except if the guy is like, let's say, a someone who is built, someone who is tall, someone who works out. Most of the men and women will also be aware of his presence because of the way he is displaying into the open world, right? So my overall point is that presentation also matters when it comes to sports. That is why when it's in sports, you have to be in shape. That's why you have to look. There has to be some type of standard in order for people to continue to stay engaged in what you're displaying on TV. But let me stop here. And you say you want to destroy my point, so go ahead.
Okay. So we've had this discussion before, right? All right. You watch the Lingerie Football League?
I don't have the cable for it.
But if it was available, you would watch.
Yeah, probably yeah.
Based on what?
Yeah, I would probably watch. I would definitely
Based on what?
give it a shot because the
Based on
reason why
what?
I would give it a shot is because I've seen a couple of games before in the past, long time ago, and they obviously cannot play. They obviously cannot play, but at the same time,
Which by the way, was what your main issue was with the WNBA, that they're not as good as the men. Yes or no?
they're not good as the men at all.
Okay, that's fine. But you use that as a way to justify not watching the WNBA. But apparently,
Mm-hmm.
but go ahead, continue with the Lingerie Football League. Go ahead.
Yeah. I watched a couple of a couple of games, and I actually really didn't pay too much attention to it
No
anymore.
shit.
But I actually paid attention to it a lot more than the WNBA. That's for sure.
But yeah, we've talked about the WNBA twice in 2 weeks. Twice in 2 weeks. Like
Okay.
you
Mm-hmm.
keep talking about sex appeal, but but let me tell you something. When you say that no one watches the WNBA, literally nobody watches the Lingerie Football League. I don't even know if the league is still going on.
I don't
But
either.
the fact is that you have these women in lingerie, and based on the clips that I've seen, a lot of them would be considered what you would consider attractive, but no one watches. No one watches, despite the sex appeal that the women have. No one watches. So you're telling me that the only way that you could pay attention to women's sports, right? And you said last week that you like other women's sports, but not basketball. And and one of the reasons why you don't watch the WNBA is because of their sex appeal. That's essentially what you're telling me. Because a lot of them don't look good to you. That's essentially what you're telling me.
Yeah, that is a factor. Yes.
So so they have to not only do they have to be as good as the men, but they have to look good too. That's essentially what you're saying.
Yeah, sure. If they don't look,
And okay, all
if
right,
they
all right,
look,
all right. That's what
men,
that's what. Okay,
we
okay,
don't
okay.
want to see them being all masculine. That's not what we want to
Hey,
see.
listen, basketball in its purest form is a sport that is physical. It's a physical sport. What do you want them to do? Like, how do you want them to play?
I mean, how I want them to play.
How do you want them to play? Do you want them to play like physical, like the men, or do you want them to protect their bodies and like not be so physical like the men, like the men that you want them to portray them as? You want them to be as good as the men, but you don't want them playing as physical as the men.
I
How does
said
that
that.
make any sense? It, Steve, put two and two together. To
I
put two
said
and two
that.
together. No, to put two and two together. Have you ever seen anyone look sexy doing a dunk?
What are you talking about? The WNBA or the
I'm talking
NBA?
in general. In general, have you ever seen anyone look sexy doing a dunk? Because I haven't seen it. I
Anyone who
haven't seen
looks
it
sexy.
doing a dunk. The sport in general is a very physical sport. It's a physical sport, and when you're doing something physical, the one thing that they don't have time to do is be sexy. It don't make any sense.
Well, yeah, those are your
Dude,
words, not mine. But okay.
no, Steve, it legitimately makes no sense. Makes no sense whatsoever. At the end of the day, that's not their job. Is not to make sure that you are attracted to them. That's not their job. Their job is to go out there, play basketball. That's their job. You have some women who are more physically appealing than others. Just like you have with men. Like it just like at the end of the day, that their job is not to make sure you get a boner watching them play. Their job is to put the ball in the net. That's it. In the basket. That's it. And the thing that annoys me most about your comment is that now when I look at it from the eyes of an uncle of three beautiful young women, including a newborn, who one of them is starting playing volleyball, the other one is doing cross country training or whatever, right? Essentially, what you're essentially saying, and I know that you don't have the same disgust with volleyball like you do basketball. I get that, or cross country. I get that. But what you're essentially saying is that in order for me to pay attention to your sport, you have to look good. And to me, that is the epitome of sexist. Okay. Hold on.
Are you done?
Let me read some of Raggedy. Let me read some of Joe's comments. So you don't like the sport. You just like pretty people being sporty. Is he right there?
Well, let me read it. So you don't like the sport. You just like pretty people being sporty. Well, I don't really understand that, but no, the if he's talking about the WNBA,
Yeah.
all I'm saying is the WNBA players, they don't look sex appeal matters, and unfortunately, that works throughout all aspects of
No,
life,
no. You know what?
not
No, you're
including
wrong. You're wrong. You are
including no
wrong.
no no no
You
no
are
I'm not no
wrong.
I'm not
You
no
are
I am
wrong.
not
You
no
are
I'm not
wrong.
no I'm not.
You're wrong.
Presentation matters. It
Then why? Then
matters.
why? Then why isn't the lingerie football league more popular? Why isn't it
I
more
mean,
popular? Because I'm going to say this, and then you can answer the question. It has not only do they have pretty beautiful women in it, they're also playing the most popular sport in this country. So why isn't it a bigger deal?
the most popular sport isn't it soccer?
No, in this country is football, American football.
Okay.
Well, so okay, answer the question.
Well, you said I didn't really understand the question.
Okay, I'm gonna do this again.
Yeah,
If you're talking about sex appeal being important for the WNBA, then why isn't the lingerie football league more popular?
I have no idea. I have no idea. But you saying that it's I don't even know
But
if the
but the
league
thing,
even exists.
okay, that's fine. But the thing is that it has the sex appeal that you clamor for, and and they're playing a sport that is extremely popular.
Yeah, but I said it's one of the factors. It's not the factor, but it's one of the factors. Sex appeal matters.
No,
Even
it
though
doesn't matter.
yes it
I
does.
just proved that it don't
I'm
matter.
I'm going to prove it to you right now why it does matter. Let me see. Let me go to share.
And the other thing
Uh,
he said, okay, you want them to sacrifice athleticism for sex appeal. when it comes to the WNBA, because that's what they would be doing. That's 100% what they would be doing.
First off, you and Jabonis obviously don't know anything when it comes to what matters and when it comes to presentation. If no matter how you like to put it, Havanel and you, Jabonis, presentation will always be one of the number one factors for whether if it's a company or anything to succeed. Anything. Because if something does not look good, it is not going to be appealing at all. At all. And you
And
know
you
what?
have a
And you know,
league,
no,
and
hold
you
on.
have a
And you
league.
have this is why I brought advertisement as a factor. This is the reason why I brought food. When you go to a restaurant, if a food does not look good, you're not going to eat it. It has to look good. Attractiveness matters. It counts. Okay, and it also applies to sports and your job. Your job, you
So
and your
you're so
job.
you're
No, no,
so
no.
you're
Let me.
going to
No, no,
tell
no, no,
me.
no. You talked. Because I'm
Right.
going to destroy you and Jabonis right now.
Okay.
When it comes to your job, they want you to look what apart. You have to be well groomed. You have to be in uniform, right? You have to make sure that you are looking presentable for just the company that you're representing, but for the people who is participating into the company, right? You have to look apart. You have to look good. You
But
have
where
to.
but
The
where
same the
does
same thing the same thing happened with the NBA. When Allen Iverson came into the league, he changed the whole culture into the league. Everyone wearing these baggy clothes, and all this, headbands and all this other stuff. But what happened? What changed? They changed the whole entire uniform. Why? Because they wanted to have a better look on the NBA. That's why. They wanted to have a much better look.
and that's why the league's gotten better?
And
And that's why answer the
and
question.
and hold on,
Is
hold on.
that
Let
the
me
reason why
finish.
the league
Let me
gotten
finish. Let me
better?
finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. And when you see that, and when you see other sports like the gymnastics, can you see this?
Yeah, what about it?
Gymnastics. You see this?
Yeah.
Sex appeal, attractiveness.
You do realize
That's
that
what
some
that,
of the,
that
you
no
do
no no no
okay.
no 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 no. I said let me finish. Let me finish. Let me
I'm
finish.
trying to
Look,
I'm
look
trying to
at look
save you
at
right
look
now.
look at the volleyball teams. Sex appeal matters. Sex appeal matters. Softball, sex appeal. Socks. Women's track and field. Look at this. Look at this. Now let's look at the WNBA. Can you see everything?
Yeah.
Okay. So you mean to tell me, having no Jabonis, you mean to tell me that let me go back to you mean to tell me gymnastics team could do it, track and field people can do it, that the women's softball team they do it. You mean to tell me that that tennis players that they do it, that softball players that they do it? NBA is the only franchise, is the only league that does not do it, and you mean to tell me that's a coincidence?
I mean, are you done?
How is it that how
Are
is
you
it that
finished?
every other how is it that every other sports league, when it comes to females, have sex appeal, but the WNBA does not?
Are you done?
Go ahead.
Okay, because before I start, let me just put this PSA out there. The views of Steven Smith, aka the Traditionalist 101, does not reflect on me. First of all, some of those gymnasts that you're showing are underage. Okay? You know that, right?
Okay.
Don't do that again. Don't do that again. They wear
Yeah.
the off they wear
Despite the fact that it's on TV. Go
you're
ahead.
dude, you're talking about okay, that's fine, but the goal is to watch the athleticism, not to see if they're hot or not.
You
Especially, it's
you
no, no, no,
completely
no, no, no,
missed
no,
it.
no, 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 no. You kept using sex appeal. That what you use. That's the word that you said. But yeah, and then you correlate that with gymnastics where I've seen 9-year-olds competing. 9-year-olds competing.
Yeah, I don't think you've been. I don't know if that's true, but go ahead.
No, it is true. It is true. Like, like, okay. Listen. I'm not watching these women because they're. I'm not watching these women to just because they're hot. If I wanted to see hot women do stuff, I would watch porn. Right? Like, I am watching these sports because of the athleticism in the sport. That's it. Like, like, I'm, look, look. Okay, are there some WNBA players that look good? Yes, they are. But in like, but that's not the reason why I'm watching. That's not the reason why I'm watching them. I'm watching them because they're good. Like,
You don't even watch them, so don't start. So don't lie right now. You don't even
no,
watch.
I know some of them. I know I've seen some of them. I'm familiar with some of them. But the number one reason why I watch them has nothing to do with their looks. Has nothing to do with their looks. Like, okay, what's the one of the women? Um Scott, Tay Higgins or something like that. I forgot her name. You know who she is. She's a WNBA player.
I don't know if I know who she is.
Okay, all right, whatever. Okay, I'll name one. You heard of Elena Deladon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually find her very attractive. I
Mm,
find her very attractive. She's a lesbian,
I don't.
so that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But whether I find her attractive or not doesn't mean that she don't have a right to perform to do her job. Her job is not to make me attracted to her. Her job is to her team and to her sport and to her league. The same thing with all those other all those other places that you showed me with softball, with volleyball. Their job is not to give you a boner. Their job is to win. That's their job. Their job is to win. That's it. And this notion that that sex appeal matters, like to whom? Not to me.
To to everybody.
No, see, that's BS. Because
No, it's not.
the top 10 players in the NBA are not the cutest or the sexiest players in the league. They're not. They're not. Shaquille O'Neal was still dominating the league when he was fat, when he was arguably out of shape. Yes or no?
And he was criticized for it.
All right, that's fine because he kept
Okay.
getting hurt. Because he
Okay.
kept getting
Okay.
hurt.
Well,
He
no, no,
kept
no,
getting hurt.
no, no, no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no, no,
yeah,
no, no,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
no, no,
yeah.
no, no,
Because
no, no,
it
no,
was a
no.
combination. It was a combination of him being out of shape, being lazy, then being hurt. It was a combination of all those
Okay,
things.
but if
And there's a
if
lot of people, and I'm
but if
talking,
you
and Steve, and there's a lot of people who thought that if he had kept himself in shape, that he would have had a better career than he did. It has nothing to do with sex appeal. It's had to do with performing at your job. One of the greatest basketball players of all time, Charles Barkley, not a bodybuilder of the year. Can we all agree there?
okay,
He's a big dude. He's a big dude. But he's not body by Jake. He's not body by. There's lots of dudes who play his position that were body by Jake, and he schooled all of them. Why? Because of his athleticism, because of his skills. And I don't need a Elena Deladon. I don't need what's that girl's name? Simone Biles. I don't need these women to look sexy for me in order for me to give them praise. Absolutely not. All they have to do is do their job and do their job well. That should be obligated to them. Just like any man sport, their job is to get the job done. All right? Tom Brady is not some body by Jake. He's not. He's not the most physically imposing quarterback of all time. He's not. He don't have the arm of a Dan Marino or anything like that. Like he's a normal dude. He's a normal dude. But through his skill, his determination, and whatever else he's doing. I mean, I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna put any speculation out there. He's been able to lead his teams to 7 Super Bowls, making him the greatest player, making him the greatest quarterback of all time. Right? When it comes to pure arm talent, Peyton Manning was better. Dan Marino was better. But do they have the rings? No, they
Yeah,
don't.
no, Peyton Manning does have the rings.
He has two. That's it. He has two. Five less than Brady.
That's fine.
And I'm not even a Brady stan like that. At the end of the day, what matters is the athleticism, the dedication, the hard work that these athletes put in. It's not about you're attractive. Oh, that means I can watch. Fuck no. It had nothing to do with that. And I would never, ever, ever, ever go say something like that, knowing now knowing that I had two nieces that are competing in sports. The only way that you can ever get any real attention from men is if you look good doing the sport that you're doing. Mind you, never mind the fact that volleyball is hard as hell to do. Right? Never mind that doing cross country training is hard to do. Right? Like, now you have to do all of that. You have to sacrifice time with family. You have to sacrifice your body. You have to do all this stuff, and you have to look good for Steve in order for him to pay attention. You have to look good for people like Steve so you can get the ratings up. Like that. That's disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah,
And I
okay.
told you. And I told you this. Go ahead. Try to defend it, and then we can go. Defend
Well,
it.
I mean, I had already, proven my point with all the other
No, you
leagues.
didn't. No, you
I
didn't.
already
Because no,
hold
no, no,
on.
no, 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 no. Because
The-
what about the lingerie league? Proves differently. You're essentially saying women have to be hot to be presentable. So there's only worth it. So their only worth is eye candy. That's what Jabana said. Defend that.
the lingerie league proves differently. You're essentially saying women have to be hot to be presentable. Okay. I had already addressed this point. Because even with
He's essentially saying that that's what you're saying. That's what he's
even
saying.
with even even with the NBA, when you saw Jeff not Jeff when you saw James Harden becoming a grizzly bear, even though that he would, despite the fact that he was still balling and he was still dominating, he was being criticized by his teammates, he was being criticized by the media, he was being criticized by fans, even
When
pe- even
when
even
when
me. Even me, I was upset because I don't. That's not what I want to see on TV.
first of all, you're
Everybody, no,
deflecting.
no, no,
First of all, you're deflecting.
you've
You're
been talking,
deflecting.
you've been talking so much. Look, if everybody took the exact same stance as James Harden did or as Shaquille O'Neal did, less people would watch. I am telling you right now, less people would watch if everybody suddenly became fat in the excuse me, in the NBA. They would be criticized to the mud
Hey, can I
if
address
hold
that?
on, no. If everybody gotten fat, if everybody didn't care about being in shape, that would have been a huge major issue on ratings and constant criticism that people don't want to be in shape. Because look, having you say whatever it is that you want, but you mean to tell me that after all the criticism that Shaquille O'Neal got, that James Harden got, and even Zion just got into the league, people are saying Zion is too big and that he's too fat and that he needs to lose weight. I am telling you right now, if everybody James Harden, the league would be in trouble. The league will be in trouble.
Can
Why?
I address
Because
this? Can I address this?
presentation matters.
Can
That's
I
why.
address this?
That's
Let me
why.
address this. Let me address this. First of all, basketball is a sport where it is very much an anomaly to be fat and be successful in that sport, especially in today's day and age. Shaq could get away with it in hit during the Laker days because the game was played in a slower pace. You can't do that now. You can't do that now. And listen, we're not gonna sit there and pretend that James Harden is this physical specimen. He's not. He's not. but clearly, like he's still been able to do what he has to do, and still and be MVP and all the other stuff. Even though I'm not a fan of his game, but at the end of the day, just because you're in shape doesn't mean that you're attractive. Doesn't mean that you're attractive.
Yeah, but
Attraction is
look at
attraction is the eye of the beholder. Yes or no?
attraction is the is the what?
The eye of the beholder.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay, like being in shape in basketball, like that's a given. That's a given, right? But this notion
But
that they
it
have,
goes hand in
but
hand. Evan, it goes hand in hand. The more in shape you in, the better you would look. Yes or no?
maybe,
Oh no 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 no
maybe,
no no no
like,
no 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 no
no,
no 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 no
like I
no
said,
no 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 no. Say
is
yes.
it
Say it.
either for the more it depends on the person, but yeah, most of the time, yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, say it. Exactly.
But you're
So okay,
okay,
all right, okay. Think
but you're saying, hold
for
on,
me
before you
now.
go, before you go, let me say this. So you're saying that the WNBA women, by and large, are not in shape.
No, I didn't
Is that
say
what
that.
you're saying?
How why are you saying that?
Because that's what your argument is. They have to be like you're saying that they have to be in shape in order to look good. You're right, right? Well, at least when it comes to the men,
I
yeah, right.
you just broke up.
Okay, can you hear me?
Man,
Can you hear me? Hold on. All right, you can hear me now, right?
yeah, I could always hear you.
Okay. You're essentially saying that they should be in shape, right? That hey, you have to be in shape in order to at least to be more presentable, right?
But that for all sports. Can you imagine if the gymnastic team were out of shape and they looked at and they were like chubby and they didn't look good? No no no
That's the
wait no
nature of
no
the
wait.
sport. That's the
Okay
nature of the
okay
sport. You
okay, which means it matters. It's still a part of presentation at the end of the day. It still matters. It's like a package deal. It's like a package deal. If
listen,
you if you
if
if
you
you
are
if you want to
constantly training,
partake,
you're going to be in shape if you constantly train. Yes or no?
I
You're not
mean,
being put out. You're not being put out there if you're not training to do gymnastics. If you're not training to be a basketball player, you're not going to be out there. If you're not training to do anything, you're not going to be out there.
James Harden was still out there. Joel Embiid was still out there when he was
He's
out of
still
shape.
training. He's
He was
training.
he was still out of shape.
That's fine. He's still training. He's
He's out
still
of shape.
training.
He was
Don't it
out
don't
of
matter. He's
shape.
look. There's a difference between being out of shape and not being in NBA and not being in quote NBA shape. There's a difference. You can't just grab any person in the gym and put them in the NBA floor and they'll play well. You have to be in NBA shape. And if you're hurt or you're delayed or whatever, you're not going to be in NBA shape. You're just not.
Yeah, but we're not. At least last year.
Okay.
Um.
Okay.
Wait,
Look.
wait, 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 no, no,
We're diverting. We're diverting from the
no, no,
main
no, no, no,
topic.
no, 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 no,
Oh,
not
go ahead. Go
because
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
at the end of the day, when it comes to Joel Embiid, the way how he displayed himself on TV and to the watching world is not something that at the very least the 76ers fans were happy about.
No,
They were not happy about
You know
that.
why they're not happy?
And
You know why they're not happy? Because
remember the same thing
they're
happened
from
with John Wall.
Philadelphia.
The
They're
same
from
thing
Philadelphia.
the
They're
same thing
never
happened with
happy unless you win.
that same thing happened with John Wall. He was out of shape and people were pissed off about that. See, here's my overall point, having though, was that all of this comes together as a whole. Okay, like I said before, it's a package deal. You have to be in shape. You have to look good. You have to have proper presentation in order for your sport, company, or whatever it is to flourish. That's all. That's throughout all aspect of life. Whether if it's at the workplace, whether it's at at a restaurant, whether it's the food that you want to eat, whether it's if you're trying to market a particular product, it has to look good. It has
Okay,
to look
and
good.
on two occasions you're deflecting. One, Jabarius asked you again, and I'm gonna show it again. Lingerie League proves differently. You're essentially saying women have to be hot to be presentable, but there's only so their only eye can their only worth is eye candy. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. And on the
Again,
in the WNBA front, I asked you, are these women in shape? Yes or no? And you said that I quote, "Oh, I never said that." But yeah, that's your whole soliloquy on what's going on when it comes to overall presentation of these sports. So address so for once and for all, address Jabonis's point.
I already did.
No, you didn't.
Okay,
No,
I'll
you
do it.
didn't.
I'll do it again. Because look, he said, oh, they have to look hot. I said that's part of the package deal. That presentation matters. It's part of the deal. You can't sit here and tell me that every single other league, every women's league is following a proper formula, but the WNBA is the exception to that rule. You
What's
still
the big
haven't
what's the biggest women's
you,
league what's the
you
biggest women's
still
league
haven't
in
addressed
this
that
sport?
yet.
What's the biggest women's league in this country?
I would say it's either tennis or I would say tennis or I
Hmm.
would say hmm, gymnastics.
I wouldn't put gymnastics on there. When people only
I,
care
I
for or when people only care 4 times a year, once every 4 years, it can't be the biggest.
Yeah, but
You so
it's
that
still it's but the Olympics is like one of the biggest events
understood, and gymnastics is an
yeah,
important part of that. I get that, but
exactly.
once every 4 years, but you can't.
And track and field.
Once every 4 years. I'm talking about annual sports. Annual sports. Tennis is. I do think of all the women's sport. I think tennis is number one.
Yes.
Tennis is number one, and that's mainly because of the Serena the Williams sisters and stuff like that,
Yeah,
right?
Naomi and that blonde chick. I forgot her name, but
Yeah, but like okay, but all right. So you have that, and then what's behind it? And to me, it's not softball, it's not volleyball,
what I would
not
softball.
soccer, it's not soccer.
I think it's soccer.
No, it's not soccer. It's the WNBA.
No, it's not. Get
Yes,
the
it
hell out
is.
of here.
Yes, it is.
You mean the same league that haven't been profitable for 20 years? Get the hell out of here, man.
So what?
How is it that how is it that how is it that soccer aren't they profitable?
No, they're not. I don't know. I don't know if it's
is it
profitable. I don't know if it's profitable, but they're not. They're nowhere near the same visibility as the WNBA. Not even remotely close.
I'm gonna look at that because I honestly don't believe it because the
How do you
WNBA
not
is
believe it?
constantly losing money
When was the last time you
because they're
seen?
losing money.
When was the
They're
last time?
losing money.
When was the last time you seen a women's soccer game on TV? That wasn't the United States. That wasn't the United States.
The United States is all that we should care about.
They have
At least
club
that's what
teams.
I care about.
They have club teams.
At least
They
that's all
have
I
club
care about.
teams. No shit. They have club teams though. I'm talking about leagues, women's
Okay.
leagues. You talk about all this stuff matters, but yet when it comes to the hierarchy and when it comes to leagues, I think one is tennis, two is WNBA. Especially compared to all the other stuff that you were showing, and like WNBA is higher than softball. It's higher than the other league that you mentioned, the one that have the quote sex appeal is number two. And the reason why tennis is number one has nothing to do with it being quote sexier than the WNBA. That has more to do with the actual sport than anything else. Because
Give
why? Because why? Because they've had women's tennis for years.
hold on.
Women
Giovanni said
women
the WNBA brings more money than others. The WNBA doesn't bring any money. What are you talking about, Jabanis? They don't
But
bring any money.
whatever money
What
that
what
they
what 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 money is it that they're bringing in? They're being subsidized from the NBA.
look, when it comes to support, they
No, you
have
people don't know. Y'all don't know what you're talking about. Yeah,
listen. Relax, relax, relax.
y'all don't know what you're talking
Let me
about.
say let me say this. When it comes to support, the WNBA has more support than every sport that you listed on a regional level,
Yeah,
with the
because it's on
exception
life support.
with the exception of tennis,
Because it's on life support.
because like I said,
It's on life support.
women tennis
It's on life support.
has the history. It has the history. It has all the greats like Stephanie Graf, Billie Jean King, Martina Navratilova, the Williams sisters. Like they have the history, and the events are a big deal. The events are a big deal. The athletes are a big deal, right? And again, I'm not saying they're close because they're not close. They're not close. But when it comes to all the other things that you mentioned, when it comes to like just annual sports, the WNBA is number two. It is.
Yeah, I love how you don't want to include all the other women's sports in there.
No, but
Hmm.
like
Very
what?
slick of you.
Like what? Name them. Name them.
Already did.
Name
Already
them.
did. You said you didn't want to count. You said you
What?
didn't want to count the Olympics. I don't know why.
The Olympic
You didn't want to count.
I'm talking about annual. I'm not talking about like all together. Because if you're gonna put all together, then yeah, I would agree with you that gymnastics, figure skating, even though figure skating kind of has kind of fallen off, are on a higher level than women's basketball. I
Thank
agree
you.
with you there. But I'm talking
Okay.
about from an annual sport, and I'm talking about from an annual league. Because gymnastics not a league, unless you want to add, college gymnastics, which don't draw like the WNBA. They don't. When it comes to regionals, they don't draw like the WNBA. They just don't. And then you look at the other sport that you mentioned. What do you know of professional softball league? Because I don't. They probably do exist, but I don't know what they are, and I damn sure know you don't know what they are.
What
Softball,
about
softball. They don't have they don't have a professional league that's on the level of the WNBA. Not even close. Not even close.
ag-
So
ag-
so so what?
again? You why are you setting the WNBA as a standard when they are the ones that not even making money anyway?
Because they are the
Should,
standard.
no,
Because they are the standard.
if you're not even profitable, how is it that you are a standard?
Steve, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They are the standard.
Uh-huh.
And the standard is not
Sure they
like
are.
the standard is not great enough based on if what you're saying is true, is not great enough, but that's the standard. Because you don't have, because you, like you said, you own,
Okay.
because you don't, because you don't.
If the NBA if the NBA never had subsidized, they would have still exist.
I don't, Steve. I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah, of course. I put you
No,
into a corner
no, no,
right
no,
where you
no, no.
belong.
No, Steve, Steve.
If the NBA had never had subsidized the WNBA, the WNBA would have been non-existent. That's a fact.
When did they subsidize it?
They've been doing it forever.
Okay, Steve. At the end of the day, they are the standard. They are.
No, they're not.
Every other sport that you mentioned, do not make the same amount of money that the WNBA does.
They don't
They don't,
make money. Why do you keep saying that? They don't make money.
They don't get the same amount of attention that the WNBA
They
does.
don't make money. Yeah,
Steve, they do not. They
I'm
do
glad you
not.
switched it
No,
up.
wait, oh, no. I don't know if they make money or not. I don't know. But
They
they don't.
don't.
But when it comes to
They don't.
leagues, they are number two. They are. Whether you want to believe it or not, they're number two. And all of it spits in the face of everything you said about sex appeal, this and that, and all the other garbage. They're still number two. And in a league that should be number one, it's not. We don't even know if it exists. We don't even know if it exists. Because at the end of the day, there's so many circumstances that lead that that contributes to a league being successful or not. There's so many other factors. Before the 1980s, the NBA wasn't doing so well. The NBA wasn't doing so well, and the ABA I think had dissolved by that point, or I think they merged with the NBA. But
Yeah, you get
they
yeah,
weren't.
they merged.
Yeah, but they weren't. But that sport wasn't doing so hot. But did they give up? No. You know what happened? They got Magic Johnson came into the league, and you had Larry Bird come into the league, and they were able to create buzz for the product. Is that because they look? Is that because they look good? No. It's because they were two of the best basketball players in the country, and they ended up being two of the best players of all time.
No, I
And
don't know if I 100% agree with that, but
no, Steve, it's a fact. The
no.
first time that the NBA became went live when it comes to the NBA Finals was with the Lakers and the Celtics. Why? Because people wanted to see the two best players in the league at the time, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, go one on one.
Okay, but you saying that the league was
Before the
right.
1980s, the
You
NBA was
said
not doing well. Before the
so. You
1980s, the
saying
NBA
it
wasn't
was
doing it.
you saying it wasn't profitable. I don't know about that.
No, I don't know. I don't know if it wasn't profitable because, like I said, I'm not in their financial books. But like, they weren't doing well. It's well documented that they weren't doing well. They weren't. You had baseball was the national pastime, and football was getting more popular. At the very least, basketball was third. It was third.
Yeah, I'll look it up, later on. But I don't know if that's 100% accurate. But
Steve, I wouldn't say I
I'll
wouldn't
look at it.
say if I Steve, I wouldn't say if it wasn't accurate. But here's my overall opinion. My overall opinion is that at the end of the day, I don't care how they look. Are they going to be in shape? Naturally be in shape? Of course. Because if you're going to train to do something professionally, you have to be in shape. Obviously, that's not rocket science. But at the end of the day, especially when it comes to the women's sports, I don't need to be attracted to them to pay attention to them. I don't need to be. If I really cared about how they looked while they were doing something, I would watch porn. It's not important to me. Like
Yeah,
the
it's not important to
presentation,
you.
no, it's not because the presentation of the sport is about enjoying what you're watching. That's what matters to me. I
Okay,
don't
but
like
at
how,
the end
how they look is not important to me. It's
at the
not,
end of the at the end,
especially.
regardless of
But
what you say, having at the end of the day, the presentation of the look of the actual product still matters at the end of the
okay, and
day.
then and then well,
You
why
can't you
then
why
the
is it
lingerie league
why
should be
is
number
it
one. Then the
why
lingerie league
why
should be
is
number
it
one. Then
why is it that how
then
come
the
you
lingerie
still
league should be
still
number
didn't answer
one.
the question. You still didn't answer the question,
What was the question?
and Javonda still didn't answer the question either. That every other aspect of life, whether it's sports or anything else, presentation matters. But for
Wait,
some
wait, wait,
op
wait, wait,
for
wait,
some
wait, wait,
no
wait,
no
wait,
no
wait,
no no
wait.
no no. You love to interrupt me, but when it comes to the WNBA, oh no, it looks perfectly fine. Everything looks perfectly fine when it comes to
What
wait, hold on, someone's
what do
calling
I?
me.
Okay, ignore it. We're on a podcast.
Yeah, it's my former boss, but
Okay, then.
crap. What was I saying? Yeah, the presentation of your actual product still matters at the end of the day. Now, I'm
Okay,
not
so
saying
all right,
that's
so
the end all be all. That's not what I'm saying. What all I'm trying to tell you, it's still part of the package deal.
okay, so
That if you
okay,
would if you would have a certain look, it would I think more people would watch.
okay.
I think more
Let me.
people would
Okay,
watch.
okay. I'm gonna destroy this right now. When it comes to a job, you have to look presentable, right? So you're talking that you have to dress your uniform has to be clean, right?
Wait, are you talking about working or are you talking about the interview
Eh,
when you're at an
You
interview?
you said they're the same. So I'm asking you, as something that's the same, do the uniform have to be clean?
When yeah, of course you have to look presentable, of
Yeah,
course
the uniform has to be clean.
you have to look
You have to have it. You have to have everything regulated, right?
yeah,
Everything
well
you wear is
groomed.
regulated.
Yeah, don't
Well
smell
groomed.
bad. Yes,
Well
yes.
groomed. Not and wait, don't smell bad.
Yeah, you have to smell good.
Including in the NBA and WNBA.
Wait. Now we're going back to the. I thought you was talking about a job, a regular
No,
job.
no, 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 no. You're trying to make it as if they're the same, and I'm trying to help you make it the same. But now you're
Yeah.
starting to realize that they're not the same.
No. Because I don't know if we're trying to. Because when you said working at a uniform, I thought you was talking about like working at a retail store, for example, exclusively.
Whatever. Okay, look, Jabari said it pretty much simply right here. Sex appeal is not presentation. It's not. Sex
What
appeal is
so
not
it,
presentation.
how can you say it's not presentation when it's constantly being used currently till this day?
To sell, of course they should use sex appeal to sell a product. No shit,
That's
they use
that's presentation. That's
they use.
presentation. What are you talking about?
It's supposed to that's supposed to apply to the women, to the
It,
WNBA
it's
women.
it's it's present. No.
Is it supposed no? Is it
No.
supposed to apply to the women?
I am pinpointing to what Jaban has just said. He said it's not presentation. I just proven to you both just now what you just said.
When
That's
it
part
comes
of
to the
presentation.
women, to the
Okay.
WNBA women.
No.
Steve, this is the
It's still
argument.
part of presentation.
Steve, that's the argument. The
It's still
WNBA.
presentation. It's
Steve, the
still
WNBA
presentation.
is the argument.
Okay, but he said sex
No, no, no,
appeal is
I
not
don't,
presentation.
no. Stop doing this. He's talking about it in the context of the WNBA. The WNBA. The time that we spent an hour, almost an hour, talking about the WNBA again. You're talking about sex appeal. Your whole argument has to do with sex appeal when it comes to these women. He's telling you
Exactly.
that sex appeal is not presentation. It's not when it comes to them. Is that way when it comes to selling lingerie? I get it. When it comes to selling beer, I get it. When it comes to
No,
selling
you don't.
chips,
No, you
I
don't.
get it. But
No,
when it
you
comes
don't
to
get it.
the WNBA,
You
no.
don't
When
get
it
it.
comes to the WNBA, no. When it comes to the WNBA, it doesn't. It doesn't. Because and if it did, then the laundry league would be higher. Would be higher, and every other league would be higher than the WNBA. But that's not the case now, is it? It's
The
not. It's
the
not.
the the
It's not.
the WNBA needs to work on their sex appeal. I don't care what you say. I don't care what Jabana says. All right. They need to follow the exact same formula that all the other female leagues uses in order for them to be
So what?
successful.
So what's the
I don't care.
formula? What's the
I
formula?
don't I don't
What's
I
the
don't I don't
formula?
I don't
What's the
I could
formula?
give I
What's
don't
the
give a
formula?
I
What's the
could give
formula?
a
What's the
crap
formula?
that
What's
you
the
want to
formula?
see. Damn,
What's
this
the
is
formula?
texting me.
Go ahead. Go. Hey, stop paying attention to your phone. What's the
No.
formula?
I'm trying to ignore it. Now look, the
What's the
form
formula?
the formula is that they have to look at a they have to basically have to look good. Let me just say it. They have to look good. They have to look good. They
So
have to
when
look
when
they have to look good. They have to look more feminine, all right, in order for that league to be successful. That's just part of the package deal. It need that has to be implemented in order for that league to matter. Okay, because let me tell you something, having no regardless of but at the end of this podcast, at the end of the day, it's been over 20 years because the league came out in what, like 1990, what, 6, 7, or something like that. It's been over 20 years, and that league has not been profitable, which means that the product, whatever strategy that they're using, is not working. Try something else. Try a different strategy. Do something else in order so you can make some money for a change, to be profitable, to actually be relevant. It's not working. So clearly there have to have some type of adjustment that needs to be made. Clearly something needs to be implemented in order for that to, in order for the league to be successful. It's been over 20 years. 20 years. 20 years. And nothing has worked. And you mean to tell me, you actually mean to tell me that if they tried this, that it is not worth a try. Whatever you
No,
say, man.
no, no.
Whatever you
You
say.
want to know
Hold on, hold
why?
on, hold on,
You
hold on,
want to
hold
know
on, hold on,
why?
hold on, hold on. How do gymnasts get paid? There's a lot of factors like sponsors. I know that's one. What do I have to answer all? I mean,
No, 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 no. Here's the point, and then we're done. Right? If you said that though they have to try, the lingerie league tried, right? It failed. They tried it when it came to a women's sports a women's baseball league in the 1940s, right? It was covered in the movie A League of Their Own. They tried to make them feminine. They had them play baseball in skirts and stuff like that. But guess what happened? Guess what happened, Steve?
are you still talking about the lingerie football league?
No, I'm talking about the baseball league, the women's baseball league that was
You
covered
mean
in
the
a
so
movie
you
I watched. Yeah, yeah. Watch the movie A League of Their Own. Watch that movie. It's a good movie. They had a women's baseball league where they tried to have the women be more feminine. They took I think etiquette classes, right? They wanted them to be more womanly, one more ladylike. And what happened to the league? You hear about that league now, Steve?
No, I never heard about that league.
No, because it folded.
Okay, so would it have flourished if they didn't have sex appeal in it?
It didn't flourish at all. That's my point.
Okay, so
They tried, and they failed. Period. At the end of the day, and I'm done. And I'm done after this. Right? You want to continue saying so, whatever. That's fine. But I ain't talking no more after this. I'm
that's
not talking
fine.
about the topic anymore after this. At the end of the day, the success of the league is gonna have to play part of what the athletes bring to the table. Has nothing to do with their sex appeal. If it helps them, fine, fine.
That's all
But
I'm saying.
no, no, no.
That was all I was trying to
But
say.
but at the end of the day, the only way that league is going to get better is if they get players who can elevate that sport. And it doesn't matter if they look like Tyra Banks or they look like fucking some ugly bitch from down the corner. If they can play, they can play. That's it. That's it. Go ahead, say what you guys say, and then we're done.
Yeah. So I don't necessarily agree with that because once again the WNBA is nowhere near as entertaining or has the entertainment value like the NBA does. I had already addressed the point. The reason why people are able to watch women's tennis, women's volleyball, women's gymnastics, track and field is because women's MMA, UFC. The reason why people are able to watch it is because the athleticism that they're able to display is really not that far from the men. It's not that far off from the men. Now you could still see a huge difference too, but the entertainment value is still there. But it's not there for the WNBA. It's just not there. So they could have an outstanding in the WNBA, but it's just not entertainment enough. I mean, it's just not. So if they could actually implement things, for example, being more I think that would actually help the league somewhat. But I already said this so many times. I gave multiple examples, but uh, that's much it.
Okay. Presentation with cars is different from presentation with food, which is different from sports. Sports presentation means looking athletic and exciting and entertaining. And on that note, I'm done. Another 2 hour podcast. Remember what I told you? I told you an hour, and again, we had to talk about the WNBA for a second time. So anyway, go ahead, do your outro.
Well, presentation with cards is different from presentation with food, which is different from sports.
Dude, I just said that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. At the end of the day, like I said, presentation in all aspect of life, still matters. Whether if it's your vehicle, whether if it's because and speaking of vehicle, Randy even mentioned it to me that a lot of people who wants to buy vehicles, you know, unfortunately a lot of people care about how the exterior looks than the actual performance of the car. Because at the end of the day, presentation looks good. You know what I'm saying? So in all aspects of life, and I'm going to include jobs and sports, presentation matters at the end of the day. So with all that being said, yeah, we talked for 2 hours, but I think the reason why we talked for 2 hours is because you added all the extra stuff. You added all the
If I
the
took it,
Street Fighter and the Owen Hart
yeah,
and all of
I
that.
guess, I guess,
So
I guess. Well, do your
so
outro. Do your outro.
anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate that you stuck this long with us. I know we started to sound a little, a broken record, but at the end of the day, this is all fun and games.
We're gonna have
Hopefully,
to
we
work
will.
on the. We're gonna have to work on the connection. We have to look at the connection issues that you're having.
Oh, so it is me, not you, right?
I, I have to look. We'll have to. I have to rewatch the podcast, but because I don't think was there a time where I was breaking up.
A couple of times.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. We'll have to watch. We'll have to watch the. We'll have to watch the podcast again. So
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. So, but anyway, this was fun. I really enjoyed having this debate. Hopefully, we will not have to wait till next week. Have an L, but
look, I'm busy. I have a life. Like I don't need to talk about every single thing. Like I keep telling you, if you have something, if you have a video to talk about it. Make a video. You don't need me to make a video about it.
that's the whole point of the podcast.
That's fine. But like I don't need.
You
Like
said you
I don't.
said you said you said you wanted to do it on Mondays and Thursdays, or your days that you were off. That's what you
Yeah,
said.
but not every single Thursday or Wednesday or Monday. Those are the days that I'm off.
Hmm.
But
Lie
anyways, all right.
about
So whatever.
being
It's
a
just
lie about that's what you're being lazy. You're
all
being
right.
lazy.
Well,
But anyway, yeah. So at the end of the day, everyone, I really hope you really enjoyed this podcast. Um, if he's not going to be partaking in a consistent basis, then yeah, I'll just probably do some video solo. But I'm still looking forward to do future content, and I'm going to be working on the camera to make sure that the quality is better for you guys. But at the end of the day, I hope you all have a great rest of the week, and God bless you all. This is the Traditionist 101 signing out. Have a
all
good
right.
one.
This is Huvvi 186. I'm out. Hopefully, we won't have to talk about this WNBA thing ever again. Have a good day. Have a good day. Bye.